Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you. All right, so educate us. What is this law all about?
Okay. Well, the Food and Drug Authority basically have a directive, and this directive says that no well-known personality or professional shall be used in advertising beverages. And it's been going on for like 15 months, and the Supreme Court just came up with a decision to say they uphold the directive and the constitutional rights that the person who brought it up, I think it was an executive who brought the action of the arts industry, the creative arts industry. They said they don't think it's in violation of the Constitution. And although the full judgment is coming out today, um, they upheld the directive because it's in the public interest that alcohol, celebrities shouldn't be used basically for alcohol advertisements.
Oh, celebrities. Who are we talking about?
Well, the celebrities who came out in defense of the directive or against the directive were people like Wendy Shea, Shatawale, and different people. And they said it went directly against, their ability to earn money or earn more money, basically. And so it's against their constitutional rights, for instance, to prohibit discrimination based on their so their economy and their occupation, etc. But what they failed to identify is that alcohol advertisements uses narratives that speak directly to adolescents, and that, for instance, beer is a precious commodity. And so we've seen it go badly in a lot of countries. For instance, the US had a huge propaganda drive in the 1920s and 1960s for alcohol, cigarettes, blue jeans. And then a lot of people saw celebrities they liked, like Marilyn Monroe, all the way down to different people saying that, and these were very glamorous, beautiful people who had a lot of money, smoking, drinking alcohol, etc. And they had upon them an alcoholic epidemic to a certain extent. And a lot of people did say what hugely influenced them, especially back in the day, were these adverts of celebrities. So right now in America, although they are allowed to run like beer adverts, it's not supposed to directly promote the beer. It's just someone engaged in activity, and then the sign comes up like Budweiser. But I think the Supreme Court has got it very right, because it is in the public interest, So you've got the public interest rights, which is everybody, and then you've got a select group who are celebrities' rights. And so the public interest will always trump that, because I don't think perhaps celebrities in Ghana know how much influence they have. And for instance, in South Africa, we have a huge AIDS epidemic. And one of the factors that they've seen contribute to this AIDS epidemic is young people seeing adverts of phones and lifestyle, etc. And so these older men, for no money or for a phone, is going to entice them for something as little as a phone. And then they go back and bring the HIV virus to their small village and things like that. So the huge effects it has is far reaching. And I think the Supreme Court got it exactly right in going against or in going for this directive.
Okay, so apart from TV ads and probably billboards, what else
Yes.
constitutes a celebrity advertising alcoholic beverages?
Well, I think the directive would probably go towards, I mean, it would be a catch-all, maybe even, but the visual is very impactful, and that's why they wanted it to be more TV and billboards. But I'm sure if the celebrity that you follow and has a lot of followers all of a sudden said they were going to do a radio advert, it would be caught by this Supreme Court ruling, which I think is very correct, basically.
Okay, so the full ruling is not out yet, but at least we have bits and pieces of it. I want
No,
to ask you, if, for instance, a television station like Max TV airs an ad by a celebrity, are we culpable?
definitely. I mean, because this ruling it's at the Supreme Court level, it defines whether, the extent that someone can go against the directive. And it basically says, although people in the creative arts industry do have a right to earn money, in terms of through adverts, there is a higher right, and that higher right is the public interest. And the public interest also includes the target market for these adverts, which are teenagers. So you would be culpable, but the FDA would probably flag it and tell you to take it down, and then if not, the matter would go to court. But a Supreme Court level decision is very impactful, and I think it's correct. I really think it's correct.
The Supreme Court, can the celebrities take it a notch further anywhere? Do they have to do so?
Well, they already have, because I think this music executive represented, the creative art sector. And though and so he was trying to challenge a decision that affected them and ignite the conversation. And I think he's done that. So should more people want to challenge it, at the end of the day, this is a Supreme Court decision. So they will probably have to go right up there. But, I would want the viewers to also appreciate that with advertising is not something that came up overnight. Millions, if not billions of dollars has been spent globally on the psychological science of how to get someone to buy a product. You know what I mean? What colors the person should wear in the video or in the advert, how they should speak, what music they should play, how calm they should seem, how using a celebrity would mean that if I drink alcohol or drink this alcohol, I will become rich like that celebrity. I will look like that celebrity. That person is my guideline of how to get to that status. And so it's very impressionable advertising. And I think that in 2024, that it's good that the Supreme Court has done a definitive decision on this, because we won't have the next 20, 30, 40 years of adolescents perhaps growing up with extra influence to drink, etc., because their favorite celebrity was showing them this is what happens when you drink. You end up rich and
How about
successful,
movies?
and
Okay,
it's
so
nothing.
if I'm an actress and in a scene in a movie, I'm supposed to drink
Mhm.
something, alcoholic, would that also constitute advertising?
Mhm. For me, I don't think it would, because the the cameraman will not veer towards the alcohol bottle so closely that it's a living advert. The whole purpose of the scene is a natural couple sitting in their living room doing what they would ordinarily be doing, which might be having a drink, and you probably won't even see the label, but you'll see the colors. So I don't think that would be caught by this directive. But I think, for instance, if you had a Saturday show, a panel show, and then everybody had like a beer in front of them, like how we see with the Baltic, like
Yeah,
everybody has water in front of
yeah.
them, and that's placement. If it's obvious placement, then that would definitely be caught as advertising because it's placement.
And how about music videos?
Um, it would be for, I mean, if the music video is challenged, then the court would look at, should it go to court, the actual video. If, for instance, the cameraman did a direct shot and you saw the entire label and it wasn't just like the colors you were seeing and the main focus was on the artists, then I think that would definitely be caught as advertising, because the person wouldn't have had the alcohol in their video unless they were paid, because why would they give free advertising to such people? So it depends on how it looks in the advert, and the video would definitely be analyzed if it went to court.
Okay, so you said that the Supreme Court is right to uphold the
Yeah.
FDA's directive. And
Yes.
okay, so we seem to have lost lawyer Amanda Clinton. Okay, hello. If lawyer Amanda Clinton, if you're there. Okay, so
Yes, I am.
you're saying the Supreme Court was right to uphold the FDA's directive. But some people also argue that there's more going on social media than the traditional media, And so shouldn't the FDA be targeting social media too and others rather than going after these celebrities?
Yes, but I think the FDA also realizes that although social media is a big deal for people, particularly in Accra, we're talking about the whole country, and the whole country is watching these adverts. And the target audience is the audience in Accra is actually sophisticated in terms of the average adolescent in Accra might not be so influenced by an alcohol advert because it's something that's everyday to them to see these alcohol things around. But we're talking about regions and etc. And so people who might not have as much access to things as readily, seeing these signs of, well, this is what wealth looks like, etc., etc. Again, that's what happened in South Africa. It wasn't necessarily always the big cities that were directly affected, but it was the people in the villages, the young girls in the villages coming to the big cities, because they were so influenced by these adverts, in particular. And although it sounds a bit far-fetched, but the psychology of advertising is so powerful,
Okay.
and so much money is spent on that psychology in order to make sure that people buy a product.
Oh,
So I think that the FDA got it right.
okay.
I think that although it prohibits celebrity endorsements and impacts their earnings, the livelihood of adolescents being influenced by these adverts could be more detrimental in future.
Okay.
And so in 2024, it is good that the Supreme Court makes a decision on this.
All right, lawyer Amanda Clinton, thank you so much. We appreciate your education and explanation. But before you go, do you have anything to tell Ghanaians?
Just that have a blessed weekend and be fruitful and multiply.
Thank you so much. So we've been having a chat with lawyer Amanda Clinton. She's been trying to explain to us that it was right for the Supreme Court to uphold the FDA's directive on the ban of celebrities' alcohol ads. It's very important to the FDA.